The innovations not only happen when you create something new, they happen when you improve something old.
Gem4me is a multi-purpose messenger that offers chat rooms, video conferences, and marketplace. Founded in 2016, it already has reached over 30 million users worldwide. Backed by crowdfunding with possible exit in 2024. What is Gem4me?
I know that this is a very exciting project. The first version of Gem4me Messenger for Android was published back in May of 2016. And the application now is currently available, as you can see, for downloads in the App Store, Google Play, App Gallery, Galaxy Store, as well as we have a web version that you can download upon preliminary installation of the mobile application. The development of the global commercial marketplace platform began in 2019 on the foundations of the Messenger platform, with it being designed for both small businesses and individuals, and with a growth towards medium and large companies. Over the course of from 2020 through 2022, even while the coronavirus pandemic was going on, the Messenger was able to, our technology people and the Messenger were able to introduce innovative functionality, including moderated video conferencing, streaming, catalog channels, and merchant services for the marketplace that we are in beta in North America, and much more.
Why marketplace feature is important?
Online stores are growing extremely rapidly, and that's why the marketplace is very, very important to our business. The global online shopping market grew to almost $4 trillion in 2020. In the United States alone, the expectation is that we will see 300 million online shoppers in 2023. To put this in perspective, that's 91% of the current population of the USA. In other words, kids all the way down to 12, 13, and 14 are already doing so. And currently, approximately 70% of the US population has shopped online, and 25% of those Americans shop online at least once a month. According to the forecasts, the total volume of retail e-commerce will surpass 5 trillion by the end of 2022. So we're talking about another 20% jump just in 2 years from the 4 trillion I just mentioned, with 67% of all online purchases across the world being made through marketplaces.
Valuation and growth.
As you see, the valuations have been growing substantially. Now, one of the things that I wanted to touch upon there was we are expecting a new evaluation, but that is a valuation by independent auditing companies. That is not numbers that we have been offered or somebody has come along and said, this is what we would pay for this. Okay, for those of you who have worked and dealt with investment bankers and or potential investors in your companies, those are completely different discussions. They will come in and look at the numbers and do their own valuations in their own manner. These are valuations based on standard market audits by independent companies. As you can see, one of the things that has really exploded is the amount of downloads in Gem4me. Yes, like many other companies, our company benefited greatly from the use of messenger services and market spaces around the world during the COVID pandemic. But we have continued to add substantially the amount of downloads, and considering the fact that we are now only starting to penetrate the North American, South American, and African and Indian areas, we expect those numbers to explode substantially as we move forward.
Channels for monetization.
Some of the changes that are going on to help in monetization for 2022 for the Gem4me are public channels. Okay, as we know, a lot of people, whether, as was mentioned, whether it's TikTok, whether it is Instagram Reels, whether it is any type of thing like that, public channels have become something very, very popular, and they are an excellent, excellent way of monetizing via advertising and online services. The marketplace, as I just mentioned, is expanding into USA, Canada. It is already in Europe, in Russia. It is expanding into India, Africa, and we expect continued expansion as we move forward. The other interesting thing that we are going to be implementing, and it's expected by the end of the year, is point-to-point monetary transfers between users. This is something that we've been working on very hard, and we expect that we will be able to achieve that by the end of the year, and that will obviously earn commissions via, and thus help grow the revenues of the company.
Why do you raise money through crowdfunding?
Crowdfunding is actually something that has been used in the United States for a reasonable amount of time. And the reason crowdfunding works is because every country has their own unique securities laws when it comes to qualified investors. And there can be people who want to be involved, but are maybe precluded from being involved because they are not considered, for example, in the United States, and it's easiest for me to speak to that, as qualified investors, which means either they have to be have a net asset base of in excess of $1 million, or they have to have been making $250,000 a year for the last 3 years, and they have to provide all of that proof. And not everybody even wants to do that. So that is one thing. The second thing, when you have a platform such as we do, what you are doing is attracting people to use the messenger service or the marketplace. And as they get more and more involved and see the functionality and how it uses, their questions arise on how can we get involved? How can we invest in these projects? And again, because it's a multi-country, multi-place, it is not as easy to set up, although we are working on that now, set up a single form of investment. Hence, crowdfunding works extremely well. In fact, if you come to the United States, it is one of the places that they will very strongly encourage a new company to utilize, and not rounds of funding, because rounds of funding generally want to see that something is actually in full functionality and not just on paper anymore, but they actually want to see how it works. So maybe some of you have heard, but it's the saying of friends and family. And crowdfunding is effectively an expanded form of friends and family investment.
Benefits of raising funds by crowdfunding.
It is definitely a very good way to raise, particularly during present downturn in venture investing. It gives a company which is raising funds a certain stability due to diversification of the investor base. Because when you have thousands of small investors which invest, I don't know, up to $1,000, unless you do something really bad and your reputation goes sour or there is a PR problem, then you're sure to have a certain level of funding which on your early stage may be sufficient, and which may prove to professional VCs or to banks that you are backed, and it will be much easier to raise further. If you present a good mix of funding sources, of which crowdfunding is one, then certainly it always plays for the better.
Join Gem4me, and become a part of Racing Unicorn.